everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central. Welcome back to the NCC show, joined, of course, by my co-host, Duka. It's been an interesting, last few weeks. It's been an interesting season, hasn't it, in the whole of Norwich at the moment? And, I think there's been a lot of optimism going around Norwich, back-to-back wins. And then Norwich just throw it out there that they're changing their badge. So, Duka, firstly, how you doing, mate? And it's never quiet with Norwich at the moment, is it, mate?
Yeah, no, I'm good, busy as usual. But we'll like to say that will always be my badge. That will always be my badge. Not this shite that the club have released, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the fans will turn on it, and hopefully they'll have to change it back because it's. I think it's just poor. It looks like something that I'd draw as a 4-year-old kid. So,
yeah, we'll certainly get into the bad situation, and then in the second half of the video, we'll talk about the Southampton game. And back-to-back wins, guys. I think things are looking up. Dean Smith's Yellow Army and all that, and things are going well. But of course, it was announced, I think, about 4:00 today that Norwich City would be changing their club crest after 50 years now. There was two main arguments and two main points of changing the club crest. One of them being that Norwich are the only Premier League side in which their club crest has existed before the internet. So I think 16 or 17 of the Premier League clubs have evolved their club crest since 2000, and Norwich are the oldest. They haven't changed their club crest since 1972. And that was one of the main reasons, but probably the biggest reason, or the justification that the club wanted to change the badge, is because there's lots of different variations of the Norwich City badge. Even around the ground as well, slightly different variations, very small variations. So they wanted to create a new club crest coming into next season, and as you can see by the thumbnail, that is the club crest. We'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Of course, if you're watching our catch up, please feel free to put your comments in. But Duka, what are your thoughts firstly, before we get into the club crest situation, which you put your opinion on? What are your initial thoughts on changing the club crest? Is that a good thing?
Why fix something when it isn't broken?
Would you not argue a lot of clubs have done similar things? Most of the Premier League clubs have changed the club crest.
Doesn't mean we need to follow suit, though. It doesn't mean we need to follow them and be like them, because we're not. We're our own identity. We're our own club. I don't think any Norwich fan in the past 10 years has seen anything wrong with this badge, considering we're in the modern day and age of football. No one has mentioned anything to me that our badge looks horrendous. It's our badge. It's our identity. It's our club. With this new one, it just feels like they're tearing that out, really, and just modernising it and just becoming like the rest of the clubs, I think if the club went about it the right way, I wouldn't mind it too much. I mean, I didn't really see, we didn't know that the club badge was changing until pretty much today at 4:00, really, for the majority of fans. Obviously, there's rumours flying around here and there, but if you want to do it properly, do a questionnaire for Norwich fans, and ask them, do you want your club badge changing?
Would you not argue this has already been done in kind of focus groups and kind of small groups, or would you say this is something that should be put to the main fan list?
It's got to be a mass audience when you do something like this. It affects a lot of the fans, and you can see on social media that it's at a very, very negative response. If I'm honest with you, I don't like it. It's simple done wrong. It's so basic that it just looks like something that a 4-year-old has drawn. It just doesn't suit for me. I like the old badge and get the whole thing with the lion not looking like a lion. Just change the lion if you need to. Don't change the whole thing, because that like I say, that club crest is our identity of who we are as Norwich fans. It's our badge, and the fact that we've kind of gone against that and gone for a version that no Norwich fan is happy with says it all.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? With the club badge, I think that there's the argument's interesting, isn't it? I don't particularly agree with the whole idea that the internet's coming and you need to digitalize and modernize the badge, but would you still not argue that there are slightly different variations of that Norwich City badge, and you should be looking to create a unanimous one, in your opinion?
I can kind of get that, yeah, but don't completely, because I feel like, for me, this badge is completely just stripped out a load of identity that this original badge behind me has. You know, the borders, the sort of the markings of the canary and stuff, and for me, it just get one of that and just use that as the main badge. You know, I don't really see the issue with it. I feel like the club are just making excuses as they go along with it, just trying to kind of, I don't know, keep fans on side with this new badge. For me, I just do not like it at all. I don't like it at all. It might grow on me, it might not. I doubt it. I think we need to keep the old badge because that, again, like I say, that's our identity as a football team we support. Yes, other clubs are changing their badge left, right, and centre, but no, for me, I don't see why. Again, it goes back to the thing that I said to you at the start of the podcast. Why fix something when it isn't broken?
Yeah. At least it wasn't a circle, or at least it wasn't that god awful. Do you remember a few years ago the Leeds badge with the hand on the badge? That's something I want to erase permanently from my memory from what Leeds did, and thank goodness they changed it because it was one of the most hideous things I've seen. What do you not like about it, Dicker? What is it about the new club crest that Norwich City are going to be taking forward that you don't particularly like? And what is it something that a lot of Norwich City fans don't particularly like as well? I think the opinion's been mixed. I wouldn't say everyone kind of dislikes it. I think it's more mixed than that. But what's your kind of why do you have a negative reaction towards it?
It's simple done wrong. Like I can get, you know, some club with kits and badges, you know, it's very simple but done right. You know, it's got the right level of detailing, right level of sort of colour. But here it's very simple and it looks like a 4-year-old has drawn it. It doesn't look good. Like I could get behind the badge if it looked good, but it doesn't. It looks 10 times worse than the badge we've got now.
Yeah. It says it, doesn't it? DJ, I'm good friend of the podcast. I hope you're doing well, mate. It's been a long time since we've caught up, and yeah, I hope you're doing well. And you know, go over and subscribe to his channel as well. I love the kind of non-league stuff there. Boys, that design is terrible. Money wasted to design it, and it looks like my Pez attempt back in the day. Exactly. You did agree. It does look very what's the word? Just slightly immature about it. I think it does look quite childlike. Where can I find the new logo? It will be on the club website. It's also the thumbnail of this video. So
it's everywhere at a minute, I guess.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, you should be able to find it quite easily, and it is also the thumbnail of the video. Lewis Hawkins, I say we go for the Lewis mug. Yeah, this is how you do. Let's get it up. I don't want to put water all over my laptop. This is how you do a nice little canary. Jobs you're good at. Ducker, would you be wearing the Norwich City shirt with that little canary on it?
No. With your one, sorry, yeah. With your one, I thought you were with the badge. I would just relate. Sorry, yeah, your one, of course. You know, I'll model it for you and stuff. But the badge I've got now, I will not be seen to get like that.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with this comment. The line is the only improvement, and that's been kind. I think the line looks a little bit more modernized. But yeah, my opinion of it, to be honest, I haven't actually given my opinion yet. I don't really know. I don't like it, but it doesn't really affect me that much. I don't really dislike it. I feel quite indifferent towards it. I think if you're going to come up with a new badge, it needs to be, you know, simple but done well, or, you know, don't even change it. So for me, I don't really dislike it, but it's not something that is, you know, if you're going to design it, it needs to look different than that. Then it is quite poor, exactly. Really.
I think it's changed too much from the original badge. I think you have to keep the concept the same. The only thing on the old badge that needed improving was the lion. Just change up the lion. Just do that. The simple things. You know, don't change the whole club crest. It's like you're ripping out an identity and trying to create a new one. And it's just, for me, it just won't work like that.
What do you think of the canary deco on it?
Don't like it at all. I feel like that again is very, very just immature, like you said. Yeah, just don't like it. Just don't like it.
It's not great. I mean, the thing is with it though, I don't think the club are going to U-turn it. Obviously, with the BK8 stuff, that was something I felt quite strongly about, and I don't think we were doing the channel then, or I don't think we had too many discussions about the BK8 stuff. So I don't know.
I think we started after, didn't we?
Yeah. So I don't particularly know your opinion of that stuff, but I don't see this having the same level of
Oh
controversy.
no, absolutely.
I think the club will keep this going forward, to be honest, despite a lot of negativity kind of overall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I just don't like the kit. I just don't like the badge. But yeah, no, it's one of those. Like I say, I don't think it'll ever grow on me. Dean Smith grew on me, but this badge is just
in many ways, I imagine.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't really dislike it, but I feel quite indifferent about it. I don't. It's not something that It's as you say. I think it's simple, but done quite poorly. 100% a marketing technique to bring more money in and attract interest back to the club. Do you see it doing that, Ducker? What would you make of that from Sticky Muffin? Thank you for watching, mate.
Well, I spoke to Lewis, who's in the comment section about 20 minutes ago, and he buys a lot of club merchandise himself. He told me he will no longer be buying any more club merchandise. So it may be a marketing technique to try and bring money in, but is it going to have that effect? It may have the opposite effect. We will see.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, actually, this kind of thing, because as you say, people are so passionate towards something. The club crest and the badge, it doesn't mean anything on the pitch at the end of the day. I mean, the most important thing was the 3 points against Southampton in the week, but it's something that represents a lot of people, and the club crest fundamentally is something that it is the biggest part of Norwich's kind of social identity, and also, as you were talking about, obviously your mate Lewis, the amount of money people have spent on merchandise which represents the old Canary, and the amount of people even having tattoos kind of the Canary badge before. So to change it is certainly a kind of controversial thing. I'd have taken the Canary like we had on the third kit last season. Yeah, that was a really, really nice design, wasn't it? It was quite minimal and a really good design. But that was the
Purple one.
Purple one, yeah, that's it.
I think that Canary that's a third kit sort of design. I think I don't know if that would work on a home kit for us, but yeah.
Adam, thanks for joining the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. The Lion and the Canary look a little bit more pissed off. I like it, and we'll definitely keep buying in CC stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few people say they like it. I wouldn't say it's completely an outrage of negative reaction, but I would say more people are certainly against it than with it, certainly from what I've seen. But maybe that's just social media, maybe people like to have a little bit of a blame more. It's difficult to say. I do quite like the Lion of it, to be fair. I think the Lion's better. But
yeah, the Lion's great on it, but that's the only thing I needed improving from the previous badge. So
yeah. And what I kind of dislike about the Canary is what's going on with the eyes and the kind of the lines around the eyes. That's what I dislike about it. But each their own. To be honest, I'm not a massive. This kind of thing is not going to make me sign a petition to change it. I just feel quite indifferent to it. That's kind of my personal opinion. Cameron, for the older fans, I guess it means a little bit more to them, but I want to see what it looks like on the kit first. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Fair enough. Maybe I need to take a leaf out of his book.
Yeah, hope you're doing well, my friend. The Lion and the Castle look much better, but the Canary looks off, and why no black outlines? This is probably what sums up my thoughts about it. I like the Lion. I like the Castle, but the Canary doesn't really look right.
And I do understand the black outlines. It makes the badge stand out, kind of gives it that sort of platform. And I feel like without it looks very weak, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And the Lion and the Castle, it doesn't mean much. The main thing is, of course, the Canary. And for me, the design of the Canary is a little bit more just a little bit flat in my opinion. Simple gone wrong. I like that description from you, Dicker. Looks like it was made by a preschool child, cheap looking and basic. Thanks for watching, Billy Life. That's pretty much what you said, Dicker. There's a little bit of immaturity, not immaturity, but it's just basic, isn't it? It's just really, really basic, and you don't need to completely have a revolution and change the whole badge in the Canary, but just simple things like black outlines, making just simple, those kind of simple changes I think are necessary. At least they kept the similar design. They could have just, I completely agree. Ducker, I don't particularly want to talk too much.
No, I don't really want to talk about it much more.
Do you want to have any kind of final comments on the bad situation and the club crest and what it means for you? Because we've spoken about how a lot, some people, well, for everyone, the badge is an important part of Norwich's social identity, and there'll be a lot of people who are really angry about that and say it kind of goes against their values. So what does that kind of badge mean for you? Does it kind of make you angry, and does it make you feel?
It makes me a bit like, I don't know, disappointed, I must say. Considering the badge took 2 years to make, it looks like something I could make on Microsoft Paint in about half an hour.
Wow,
that's disappointing. Considering there's a 2-year program in place, and that's what they came up with. Yeah, you know what I mean. But like I say, that up there will always be my badge.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, David. 100%. Just simple thing, dark outline. I haven't read Michael Bailey's article, but yeah, you said it took 2 years to make. Coming up with that is a little bit underwhelming, put it that way. Yeah. I agree with that, David. New logo sucks. Old one way better. Let's finally finish on David here on the bad situation. Not as keen on the canary, although more naturally positioned for bird rather than looking upwards awkwardly. Yeah, that's kind of the situation there. Ducker? Yeah. Should we talk about some football now?
Let's talk about some football, because at least that would cheer me up, because Norwich are doing very, very well at the minute, aren't they?
It feels like whenever there's, I don't know what it is around a Norwich City fan base or whatnot, but it always seems that when there is good news, there's always sprinkles of things. There's always
some bad news somewhere, isn't there? There's always some bad news on the horizon that will come up and scare you. And
Dean Smith's first game. There we go, David. 2 in a row. Premier League's easy, isn't it?
Well, I've said this. Dean Smith will win us games. Dean Smith will get us points, and Dean Smith will come back from losing positions to win us points and get us wins. And there you go. Saturday was a perfect example from it. Obviously, first half Southampton scored very, very early. It was a poor, sloppy defending. Che Adams should have never been able to get that shot off. But the fact is, the response from the team. If this was a team under Daniel Farke, would have capitulated and lost about 9-0 in that game. But under Dean Smith, who seems to have motivated the players excellently, I must say, in the 7th minute, Max Aarons winning back the ball, giving it to Rashica. Rashica waiting for that overlap from Aarons, gives it to Aarons. Aarons puts in the box. Pukki gets his head on it, and it's 1-1. 7 minutes in. First half, I thought we were. I wouldn't say we were poor. We were under pressure a lot, and we couldn't really get out our own half. I think we just got pressed too deep, and just.
I thought Southampton were. I think we were poor, but I thought Southampton were very good in that first half.
Yeah, in that first, I thought Southampton were very good, and I think defensively we were good. Apart from that Grant Hanley slip that Teemu had to make a good save in. Apart from that moment, we defended very well, resolutely. We put our bodies on the line in that first half, and the second half, obviously, Dean Smith said something. And usually we're seeing Daniel Farke's halftime team talks go absolutely downhill. But, Dean Smith, obviously, second half, we looked like a different team, pressed higher up the pitch. We looked excellent. Midfield battles, we were winning them every single time. And obviously, we got that goal. We got that goal in the 79th minute, Grant Hanley. And the carnage it caused as well, and the Barkley was great as well. There was limbs, so that was good.
We've certainly missed it, mate, haven't we? Certainly missed it. That was the big thing for me. I think 36 Premier League games Norwich City have, when they've conceded first, they've lost every single one. 36 Premier League games Norwich have conceded first, they've lost every single one. 36 games. What? That's utterly ridiculous. And
now Dean Smith.
Yeah, and that was a big thing you mentioned. The first half wasn't great. I thought we defended well, as you say, on that kind of 20-yard line. And our last third, our defending was good. But that team talk and the way we completely changed as a completely different outfit, that was so impressive for me, mate. Absolutely loved it.
Exactly. And the one thing that Dean Smith done, Daniel Farke wouldn't have, has made a very smart tactical change at half time, but a very, I wouldn't say harsh, I'd say very brave in terms of taking Todd Cantwell off at half time. He's a supposed fans' favourite, was horse shit on Saturday. I'll say it now. He was horrendous. He was. Brought on Josh Sargent, and I think that's where most fans are a bit like, why? You got Gonzalez on the bench, who's an actual winger. But Josh Sargent proved his worth and was fantastic. Pressed from the front, just brought the team up the pitch, and we looked so much better.
What I liked about Josh Sargent's second half performance as well is that there was, and it's difficult because Josh Sargent's coming for £8.5 million, is one of our more expensive players. Up there as one of our record signings, certainly for a striker. And naturally, you're going to have pressure. Teemu Pukki scored 11 Premier League goals last season, but there was no kind of second or third strikers coming in and helping us score. So there's a lot of pressure.
Norwich, come on, he got a goal in the league. So.
That was that magical goal against Aston Villa, wasn't it?
It was. We were 5-0 down in the time.
Dean Smith's Aston Villa. But yeah, you're wanting to see, more from Josh Sargent in those opening 10 games. But yeah, what I was most impressive is that physicality and that intensity and driving us the pitch and pressing from the front and not letting Southampton out. That was really impressive. Lots of comments coming here, so let's try and get a few of them up. Looking forward to seeing Dino's approach to Wolves. Yeah, we'll talk about that certainly, mate, towards the end of the show. We have now more wins than both Newcastle and Burnley combined. Well, Newcastle, they haven't won a game.
And Burnley, I think they've only won one. I think they've drawn a lot of games.
Possibly two. Well, one or two, yeah. Limbs in the river end, first time since Man City. Big shout out to the Southampton keeper world. If there's limbs in the river end, that people are certainly enjoying themselves. And the Southampton keeper wasn't great on both goals, which is fortunate from a Norwich perspective. Does he get a big sue from you, Ducker?
He gets a big sue from me. He does. Yeah, no, Burnley have only won one game. And Leeds have only won 2 games as well. So we've won as many games as Leeds this season. And Leeds are tipped, one of the tip to stay up.
I don't want to remind us, but how poor were Leeds a few weeks ago at Carrow Road?
But the fact is, it's this thing. We would have brought Dean Smith in, let's say, after that Watford game, that was when I started to be Farker out. Let's say we brought him in then. I think we'd have seen a lot more of a positive impact, and we'd have seen positive performances against Leeds. We would have beaten Leeds, probably given Everton a good go, probably would have beaten Brighton and Burnley. Probably given
an interesting one, isn't
game. It? You ask these questions, but at the minute, we can't focus on the past as Norwich fans. We've got to focus on the future. Sorry, but yeah, no. Look, Dean Smith right now he gets a big sue from me.
He gets a big sue from me as well. And it's really difficult to talk about hypothetical scenarios, but that Southampton game, I don't think a Daniel Farker side.
Daniel Farker side
would have got a point in that game.
Would have lost 4-5-0.
Aaron's looked revitalised under Dino. Yeah, I thought he was close to man the match.
The 2 fullbacks, I must say, were absolutely mustard at the weekend.
Lovely to see Aaron's get forward as well, wasn't it? And get some crosses in.
He seems to have lacked confidence this season under Farker. It just doesn't seem to be able to get forward enough and didn't create so much of an attacking threat like he usually can. And we saw against Southampton how much of a threat he was down that right-hand side. Him and Rashica linked up beautifully, especially for that first goal that Pukki scored. And again, Rashica was causing carnage. It was fantastic.
Yeah, changing tactics. We'll speak about that a little bit later. Pukki looked back to his best. Yeah, we'll talk about all these things. I completely agree. We'd love 3 in a row, wouldn't we, Elliot? Thanks for watching. But yeah, going back to the game at the start of it. But let's talk about the week. Obviously, Dean Smith comes in, and obviously you went to Carrow Road, mate. Was there a positivity going to Carrow Road and a feeling that things would change? And what did you kind of think of Dean Smith's press conferences, like leading to the game?
Oh, absolutely love the Dean Smith press conferences. He spoke confidently, and he was ready for the job.
Yeah, definitely.
And he was ready for the challenge ahead. And he said it himself, "It's not a risk; it's a challenge."
I love the mentality. That was one of the first.
The mentality just brings. It's a
We've got the quality to stay up. I love that.
See, that's the thing. Dean Smith, quality to stay up. Daniel Farke, it'd be a miracle if we could stay up.
Yeah,
two different mentalities by the two head coaches there, and we can see why we've gone with Dean Smith, because he's got a winner's mentality, and it will work.
Absolutely brilliant.
Again, Ed Ivans has just said here, Billy Gilmore playing higher up the pitch in the second half. again, another tactical tweak that helped. Means we were winning the midfield battles in every sort of department of the pitch we were in. Matthias Norwell was excellent. Kenny McLean was excellent. Billy Gilmore was excellent. That midfield trio was fantastic. The back four was fantastic. Tim Krul was fantastic. The front line, apart from Todd Cantwell, when Josh Sargent came on, the front line was fantastic.
Do you know what I love about these kind of wins? I love a win where there's not an obvious man the match and just everyone puts in a good performance. I love
everyone put in a shift, apart from Todd Cantwell.
Well,
I'm not a Todd Cantwell hater. I'm a Todd Cantwell lover. He just was very poor in that game. Just to make it clear before I get
going into the team, we was all wondering about the kind of team and the formation for Dean Smith's first game. Went for a 4-3-3, and the most notable inclusions were Todd Cantwell back in the side. Of course, didn't have his best game, but I'm sure he's going to have opportunities to prove what his quality. But the noticeable one, Billy Gilmore coming in. What did you think of the team, mate? And it was lovely to see Billy.
I was pleasantly surprised by the team. It was great to see Todd and Billy back in there when I first saw it. Unfortunately, Todd didn't have his greatest game, but we know what he can bring to the table. He just needs minutes under his belt. I don't expect him to start against Wolves. I expect Sargent to start or Zolis. I think Sargent could be maybe more of an impact sub with his higher pressing, especially after half time. When teams can be a bit fatigued, bring a Josh Sargent on to press higher could really, really damage teams in the second half. I think it could be a little cheat code for Norwich. But no, it was a very strong team he put out. I like the fact that the Omobamidele situation can kind of write that off. Obviously, your club captain Hanley, if he's available, you can play him. He's your club captain. But yeah, no, it was a fantastic performance.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like Farke's attitude of writing off games against big sides. I remember watching Norwich in the past when we could turn up against Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal and win. There was something which they said at the start of the I don't want to talk about Farke too much, particularly negatively as well because he's gone now. But there was something which Farke said earlier on in the there was kind of the communication at the start of the season. Norwich were here to compete, and the goal was to finish in the top 17. There was more of an attitude, but there was a comment, I think it was after Everton away, where Daniel Farke comes out and says, after the first 6 or 7 games of the season, we only expected to get 3 points, and that was to win against Watford, which that comment was immediate red flags for me because you're coming up against an Arsenal team who are out of form, an Everton team who are out of form and just not turning up. Todd, I'm sure Todd will come good. Cameron, exactly. It's the mentality shift, and that was shown by that tactical tweak in the second half.
It's the mentality that Dean Smith brings. I'm absolutely in love with, and it's exactly what Cameron mentioned here. Daniel Farke's focus would be on how hard it is to win this game and how hard we're expecting it, and the difficulty of the game expected. Dean Smith, we're going to win this game, and this is why.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be better than them. We're going to play better football than them. We're going to beat them. And that's the mentality I like to see. And it works. And, Dean Smith is an absolute shagger at it. He's a fantastic head coach and he's going to take us to Europe. And if anyone that doesn't disagree with me, come say it to my face because you all know it's true. Dean Smith is taking us to Europe.
What did you think of the first half, mate, of the game? Because as you say, it was...
I'm not going to say we were poor because you've got to take into account that this is Dean Smith's first game, his first 45 minutes as a Norwich head coach. The manner of conceding the goal after the first 3 minutes was poor. Shouldn't have allowed Che Adams to get that shot away. They shouldn't have even had the chance in the first place. But absolutely. He will say it's like pace of 30 minutes. He'll agree with me as well, so it's fine. But first half, sorry. And then when you look at the bounce back, you look at the motivation, the desire, the sort of mentality to say, okay, we're 1-0 down, but we're going to get at them now. Like, under Daniel Farke, would you have seen that? Not a chance in hell. But that's fantastic. You got that goal. But then from that moment forward, all the way up to half time, Southampton were pressing us deeper, and we just had to absorb their pressure. We had to sit there and absorb it and defend as a unit, defend relentlessly, resolutely, and we've done that to a T. Apart from Grant Hanley's slip, but luckily Tim Krul is there. Is what Tim Krul is there to do.
What a save, by the way.
Exactly, what a save. But this is the thing. This is what you have goalkeepers, because if your defence do make errors, and the thing is, we were relegation battling club. Our defence is going to make errors. We're not Liverpool. We're not Man City. We're not Chelsea. Yeah, our defence will make errors. So when the errors are made, we have to make sure we have a world-class goalkeeper in goal to, make sure that the errors don't turn into goals. And which is why Teemu is there. And it works perfectly. We're absorbing that pressure, defending resolutely, and we battled it out to half-time. And half-time, Dean Smith then thought, right, look, let's tactically tweak the team up here. Let's put Billy Gilmour higher up the pitch to create, kind of have someone who can carry the ball into the final third of the pitch, from the middle third into the final third. And Billy Gilmour does that beautifully as well. His sort of intentions of going at the goal, going forward, bringing that play forward and connecting the 2/3 up. He does that beautifully. And then bringing Josh Sargent on to kind of press the team higher up the pitch to allow Billy Gilmour to kind of run into that space and bring the ball forward and carry it forward and create us chances. And in the second half, we looked like a different outfit. We were creating chances left, right, and centre. And it was only a matter of time till we scored. And when we did, it was pandemonium and we got the win. It was great.
Yeah, definitely. The first half wasn't great. We couldn't really get a foothold in the game, and Southampton put a lot of pressure. But it's those kind of tactical switches, being brave with the substitution of Sargent for Todd. And yeah, Billy Gilmour. I mean, I don't think any of the players were particularly brilliant from midfield onwards. For instance, McLean, Gilmour, Norman were pretty anonymous kind of in that first half.
I think they again had to sit very deep, and they're not your Oliver Skips and Alex Tetties where they're very happy to sit deep and just absorb pressure. These are players that want to bring the play forward. It was just a struggle for them because when you were pressed so deep, as soon as you won the ball, you kind of lost it again because everyone was so deep. You couldn't really move the ball forward. So it was a difficult position for all the players to be in. But that second half just shows the quality we do possess in this Norwich City team and that we can win games. And you've got to remember, Southampton prior to that game were on 3 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
They're in very good form. Yes, against, I would say, maybe potentially you could say some of the smaller clubs in the league, still very, very good form. And when you come into Norwich, arguably the smallest team in the Premier League, you're going there expecting to win. And, we gave them a good fight. We deserved to win, I think, in that second half and the way how we were tactically aware to every situation on the pitch and to Southampton's game plan and how we adapted our game plan to it and how we kind of beat them at their own game. Because in the second half, they had to do what we were doing in the first half.
Yeah. It was brilliant, wasn't it? And yeah, it was really a tale of two halves. And what Norwich did, we were resolute. I thought there were some brilliant blocks, particularly from Ben Gibson in that first half. And in the second half, we eventually got the goal. And just that over the moon for Grant Hanley as well, because I thought he's probably the weakest player on the pitch. I know we made a couple of decent blocks in the first half, but
he got his goal when it was his birthday, so we'll let him off.
Yeah, of course. Is it his 30th as well? Or
yeah, 30. I know he's 30, only now 30 years old. I know, I can't believe it. He looks like he's 45, the poor bloke.
It's a bit crazy to think when he came into the club, he was like 26 as well, which is 26. 4 years ago, yeah.
Crazy.
That's a little bit crazy, but yeah, great to see Grant get the goal. And of course, you need a little bit of luck as well. And fortunately, Theo Walcott has a head of a 50p, and it goes wide at the end there. So yeah, really happy with that. We go through some of the players starting at the back. I mean, it was said Tim Krul makes saves at pivotal points. Bought Tim Krul's top. I love that. I love that from you, Wilbert. But yeah, making saves at pivotal points. That's what you want to see from your goalkeepers, mate.
Exactly. He made saves. He obviously nothing he could really do about Che Adams' goal. But no, Cameron's absolutely right here. Tim Krul is a fan's favourite. And I think one of the first videos that me and you filmed together going into that Daniel Farquhar championship winning season, the first one where we filmed together, and I said Tim Krul will be our biggest signing.
You're right, probably.
And I still say he probably is, because you look at what he brings, fans' favourite, interacts with fans, makes pivotal saves, wins us games, wins us cup ties. He's a match-winning goalkeeper. And so, some of the moments he's brought us as well as fans is fantastic. And again, Saturday he was immense. The saves he was pulling off sometimes was, still at his age, he's still a fantastic goalkeeper.
I think we're incredibly lucky to have someone like Tim Krul as well, because obviously he was at Newcastle for a number of years, was excellent there, and then had some injuries and it didn't work out for him at Brighton. But he's really kind of back close to his peak, and he's a top quality keeper, isn't he? Absolutely brilliant. That back line, Ducker, you mentioned it. Resilient, weren't they? They were resilient. The fullbacks you mentioned were pressing high. The
Fullbacks must be.
intensity.
Brandon Williams, what a player, by the way. I think he's
player.
going to be revolutionised under Dean Smith.
What a player!
Because the thing is, you look at Aston Villa, they haven't even got a decent left back. They've got Matt Targett. Like Matt Targett just thinks of League One football, right? Brandon Williams thinks of Premier League quality, divine football, and yeah, there we go.
Yeah, quality.
Brandon Williams as well. And Max Aaron's, obviously, we spoke about
Max Aaron's first half as well, brilliant from him.
Yeah, exactly. He was fantastic all game, and then the two centre halves. I thought Ben Gibson is. He doesn't get spoken.
Underrated Gibson. Underrated.
100%. He's been fantastic the last two games, and obviously both games he won. And Hanley, yes, he had that slip, but I think after that he looked good. He did look good. He got that goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, no complaints in that backline. I thought the midfield three again, like you said, first half weren't really in the game. I think that's purely because of Southampton's press and the sort of way we were playing. I think it was kind of get bodies back behind the ball and absorb the pressure that Southampton were giving us so we can go at them in the second half. And it worked. And in the second half, the midfield was so good.
Unbelievable. The intensity as well from all three of them was brilliant. And Norman had a couple of, there was that one pass, wasn't there, from Norman, which was absolutely filthy in that second half. But the main one, of course, was Billy Gilmour, higher up the pitch, pressing from the front. What a difference Billy Gilmour did in that second half. And he's probably up there close to man the match, wasn't he? In terms of
I think we're going to see a lot of Billy Gilmour now under Dean Smith. I think Dean Smith is a kind of the thing is, we all spoke about Farker being a good man manager. I don't know about you, but I've done a bit of reading into the stories of why Dean Smith's one of the best man managers out there, and even John Terry has said it.
What have you heard, Dicker? What kind of stories?
I completely forgot the story, but I know it's something about his man management, and it was an excellent story to read. I can't actually quite remember. It's been a long day. Been having to remember all sorts of coursework as well, so my head's a bit just scrambled with information right now. So can't really remember what it was. But Dean Smith's man management is going to be second to none. And we're going to see him really, really flourish the players at Norwich City. And the Norwich City players really flourish under him. And Billy Gilmour's going to be one of them. And I think, he's going to take Billy Gilmour under his wing and kind of turn him into that midfielder that we all thought he would be at the start of the season. And we're going to see the best of him. And hopefully he could be one of the key parts why, hopefully, we stay up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Ducky. I'm sure you're just sipping pints away, mate.
He can even back it. I've been doing coursework the last 2 days.
Let's get some of the comments. He was a game changer against Watford that season. Who's that?
West Brom. Who was that season?
You're gonna have to elaborate, Lewis. We've been talking about so many players.
I'm gonna say that's Tim Krul.
Didn't Tim Krul make a mistake? Is that a joke? That's probably a joke, isn't it? Because Tim Krul made that hideous mistake on his debut, didn't it, at Carrow Road?
But it could be in the second.
It could be anyone. I don't know.
Last season we played West Brom. No, they're in the Premier League. Krul. Okay, yeah, Tim Krul. Was that the home game or away game, Lewis? I'm very confused where you're getting at here.
Well, in the home game, it was that 4-3 defeat to West Brom.
Yeah, where he did have a stinker. But I think in the away game, he made some good saves, I want to say.
What way are you leaning, Lewis? Towards the sarcasm or towards the... Let's see. Omar Bamadeli, you said it was really harsh for him to be dropped. Would he come back maybe for Hanley?
I think I can see why he done it, so I'm not too fussed about it. But again, like Omar Bamadeli, okay, he's running for the home game, yeah, so we know. But Omar Bamadeli is it's a great young centre back. He did really well against Brentford, and can be seen as harsh for him not to be part of the starting 11 on Saturday. But you can kind of see why he's done it. Dean Smith wants the strongest players out there, and I think more experienced centre halves, especially in the division that we're in. I'm sure Omar Bamadeli will get game time. Both Grant Hanley and Ben Gibson do get the odd injury during the season, so it's not like we're not going to see Omar Bamadeli at all. So yeah, no, it's still positive news, but I think it's one of those.
Yeah, and then that front three. I mean, Pukki back at his best. We spoke about Sargent. We spoke a little bit about Sargent, but let's talk about Rashida and Pukki. I mean, exciting.
You see what happens when Pukki gets service.
Feed the goats, and he shall score.
Exactly. Yeah, Pukki getting service just screams goals because he will score. and we saw that on Saturday. You give him that chance. It's just way how he positions himself in the box. You look at that cross coming in; it's such a hard ball for Aaron to actually get across goal. Pukki's in the right spot. Just steer it in. That's all he has to do. Just steer him with his head. Done it perfectly. And the thing is, I think we're going to see a lot of Pukki goals coming up this season because we're going to get
that excites me.
Our wide players in the right positions to put the balls into Pukki where he's going to be. And we're going to score goals. We're going to win games. We're going to stay up, and we're going to go to Europe.
And he's scoring consistently for Finland as well, I mean, over the years. So it's not like he's become a bad player overnight. His movement and his intelligence is excellent. But the one which excited me the most is Milot Rashica. I mean, didn't get any goals, didn't get any assists, and his those kind of statistics probably need to improve from him. But I've got no doubt they're going to improve.
It's coming. It's coming. You know it's coming for Milo.
When it comes, it's just going to be an avalanche. It's just going to be an avalanche from Milot Rashica, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, no, I really do think Milo Rashica is going to be one of the key players now. I think under Dean Smith, under Daniel Farke, we started to see it when Rashica was actually getting played. But under Dean Smith, we're going to kind of see now that Rashica is going to kind of come in his own. Remember that Dean Smith wanted Rashica a few years back at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So Dean Smith knows how he plays, knows how he wants to play, and I feel like it's going to be a match made in heaven between those two. And I think Dean Smith is definitely going to get the best out of Milo Rashica.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Duka, final thoughts on the Southampton game, mate? What kind of what impressed you the most kind of about that game? Because for me, it was the resilience and the tactical tweaks in that second half.
Dean Smith,
simple as one word, 2 words. Yeah, absolutely excellent from him. Looking ahead quickly to Wolves, mate. I'm surprised, by the way. Have you seen the league table? Wolves are 6th. They've quietly gone under their business under their new manager.
They've beaten West Ham at the weekend as well, which is a bit. But this is the thing. This is what I said earlier about Southampton's form coming into this Norwich game. They are on good form. They beat Wolves, I believe, in that run. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to quickly have a look because otherwise I'll make myself look like a fool. But whilst I'm having a look,
Dean Smith as well. Dean Smith, Aston Villa.
They beat Dean Smith, Aston Villa. Yeah. Have a look at Southampton's recent results. Hang on, will be a second. Did they beat
Wolves? Wolves are 6th in the table.
They lost to Wolves, but so that's irrelevant. But Wolves have still lost games this season, and Wolves can concede goals. And I think realistically, I think we'll beat them again. I think we'll beat Wolves. I really do, just purely because of the fact that the way how Dean Smith can get these players playing, I just think that we're going, especially at home, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I don't know if that's me with just absolute blind optimism because I absolutely love Dean Smith. Making himself look like a fool, never. But I do think we'll beat Wolves. I think it'll be like a 2-1 or a 1-0, something simple. But I think we play that team that finished the game on Saturday, we'll win.
Yeah, I'm so much more confident with that team. But Wolves have done very well. I mean, they lost their opening 2 or 3 games. I think they've got 6 wins out their last 9, which is extremely impressive. So they've quietly gone about their business. And Raul Jimenez has come back, and that's been the game changer.
That's it, Raul Jimenez. That's it. As soon as you get your target man back. But yeah, looking at that, looking at the last few results, they've lost one game. They've drawn to Leeds. They've lost to Palace. We look at their results. They beat Newcastle, beat Southampton, lost to Brentford at home, lost to United, lost to Leicester, lost to Spurs.
I mean, they haven't played any of that top 3 yet, have they, Wolves? So
no, they've looked decent. They're picking up points against teams that you expect them to pick up points to. So I do believe it's a chance for Norwich to give them a game, give them a good run.
Definitely. Yeah. Final thoughts, Duka, then going against Wolves. Same team, and. Just give me some thoughts. Give me another score prediction, Duka, because I can't remember. What was your score prediction against Southampton? Can you?
3-0.
Was it 2-1?
It was 3-0. I mean, we still won though, so that's all right. It's better than what it have been. So,
give me a scenario, because Duka, this optimism you were feeding with me. I can feel this optimism. I can feel these things happening now under Dean Smith. I can feel the imagination, the story, the fantasies with Dean Smith. It's a new start. What's going to happen against Wolves, mate? And are we going to get 3 Premier League wins in a row?
It's going to be 0-0 to the 89th minute. We're going to defend resiliently.
I don't want to say 0-0.
So resolute at the back. We're going to be brilliant. And we're going to defend so well. Brandon Williams is going to have an absolute corker of a game. 89th minute, we get a corner. It's one of our first attacks of the game. It's cleared away by Connor Cody, and in comes Brandon Williams on the volley and slaps one in top bins, and we win the game 1-0. And Brandon Williams just jumps into the Barclay. It's in front of the Barclay, so jump into the Barclay and just end up in the upper Barclay somehow.
I do love it when you have a lone player, just Norman and Williams, just absolutely loving life. I do enjoy that.
They ooze passion, don't they?
Yeah.
And I've just been told to go to bed. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, we're going to leave it here now, actually. Thank you, everyone, for all the support on the live stream. Ducker, it's been a pleasure, as always. Your link, of course, in the description to follow Ducker, and hopefully there'll be some more content on there
in the future.
Go back and watch some of the content before, because it's good stuff. It's good stuff, and you made some really good predictions on your Premier League predictions as well, so that they're worth a watch. So head over to Ducker's channel, and thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week. Singing the praises of Dean Smith. Just another win. But thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one. Sweet dreams, dreamers, Dean Smith, and we'll see you.